Hello, good evening. Welcome to On Air. I'm Klara Syrewicz. Our guest tonight is Grzegorz Rzeczkowski, an investigative reporter specializing in Russian espionage. Today, we'll be talking about the evolution of Russian infiltration methods and grey warfare in Europe. Before we start, I'd like to remind our viewers, especially those who are meeting Mr. Rzeczkowski for the first time, that much like many other investigative journalists, Grzegorz has been given a frightening badge of honor. Hello, Grzegorz. Welcome to our show.
Hello. Thank you for the invitation.
Grzegorz, you've lived under state protection because people presumably associated with the Kremlin designated you as a target. Could you tell us what led to that situation?
Yes, of course. Almost 2 years ago, I described and exposed links with the Kremlin oligarchy, precisely Polish businessmen who were linked to the Kremlin and who were active in the Polish green energy market. They established solar power plants and tried to capture the huge part of Polish energy market on the South Poland. And from that time, it was on February 2024, I was a target. I was targeted and I was threatened as well. I was on the protection. It was and still is a hard situation for me because it's, of course, obvious what I want to say, that it is hard to live under such threats.
I'm sure of that. You actually said, which is interesting, that those businessmen were linked to the green energy market, so
Yes.
not the traditional oil and gas sectors that we associate with Russia. This sector is associated with big funds from the EU, so I guess they were trying to milk that, right?
Definitely, yes, I agree. It was very smart operation from the Russian point of view, because as we know, oil trade, gas trade, or everything connected with this market was sanctioned, was stopped by the European Union and Poland, but not green energy market. We rely more and more on this kind of energy, so they started to influence us using this kind of business, establishing power plants, investing money channeled via Cyprus and Cypriot lawyers to Poland. So it was, as I said, very smart and very, on the other hand, dangerous operation for our national security.
Well, the thing is, it seems a very white-collar kind of profiteering type of situation, so not something that we associate with grey warfare or espionage on a political level. As you wrote in your book, there's this false assumption often that because Poland has a national distrust of Russia that is equaled probably only by Sweden, we are immune to infiltration in general. Could you explain why that isn't the case?
Because we want to think that we are immune, that we are so strong, that Russian efforts to capture Poland or influence us are futile. We want to think like this, but it's not true. Russians and the Kremlin found the method to influence Poland secretly, using Polish so-called useful idiots or agent of influence. So these operations are prepared and pursued under the so-called false flag. And this false flag keep Polish people.
I see, because you say also in your book, which is here, by the way, that the best recruits are the ones who believe, not the ones that are recruited under a false flag or the ones that get paid, which is increasingly the case with the proxies used in sabotage operations or even espionage. So Do you think in Poland you can easily find those kinds of people among politicians and etc.?
Of course, yes. I think everywhere in the world, because Russia found a way of influencing, paying the money, corrupted people, because during the Soviet era, the ideological way of thinking stopped them of influencing some kind of people. Now they are free. They have a completely free hands to influence using dirty money, to corrupt politicians, corrupt activists, sometimes journalists, sometimes lawyers, and others who are powerful or who decide on our future. It is very dangerous because it is hard to find such people, such, let's say, moles. Also because our counterintelligence institutions are not so very, unfortunately, not so very effective in countering such activity, because they are afraid to do their job among politicians on the political area. So we are a little bit powerless. We should be more powerful, and our institutions should be more encouraged to do their job properly.
Well, the problem is when you have services that will investigate politicians. I mean, these situations have been, at least in Poland, politicized. There's the risk that they will investigate.
It's huge risk.
So isn't that actually something positive about them, that they are shy of stepping into the political realm? But then you say that's wrong, because presumably we have moles and agents high up the political ladder. Is that what you're saying?
We can observe, on the other hand, that a kind of new activity of our institutions who are responsible for our safety and our security. I mean that this case with cryptocurrency in Poland, it can give us a hope that something has changed, that counterintelligence services started to investigate some links and connections between dirty money from Russia and Polish political sphere. Of course, this is the only first step. We have to find out what will happen next, but there is a small hope that something has changed, that our government, our counterintelligence institutions are more courageous in that in investigating that sort of things.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of the European counterintelligence landscape, this year is ending with what would amount to an assassination attempt on Zelensky and his wife, with their plane landing in Dublin being targeted by Russian drones, military-grade drones, and this is an event that has very much gone under the radar. Do you think, in light of this, that European security agencies are actually prepared for the kind of threats that Russia represents?
On the one hand, I would say yes, because they have very many successes in countering Russian activity, hostile activity in Europe. We can observe it, could observe it in not only in Poland, but also in France, in Germany, in Norway, Sweden, and Great Britain, that they were able to effectively investigate acts of subversion and sabotage. But on the other hand, and it's kind of bad news for us, Russia speeded up its hostile activity. They pursued with new methods and new tools, and this case is horrifying, but it shows how Russia is reacting for our countering activity. and how hostile it could be, and how cynical as well, because we wouldn't expect that somebody could, in such a way, using drones, attack president of Ukraine in Ireland. It's really horrible, but it's of course true. I think that, and I know that investigation is ongoing. We will see what will happen in the future, what conclusions will be published. But I expect more such situations, such dangerous situation, incidents like this. Hopefully they will fail in threatening us.
Actually, looking back at this year, what were the turning points in the sphere of Russian influence for you?
Definitely it was the act of violating the Polish airspace by Russian drones. Mm-hmm. And we can say that it was a turning point because it was the first such act of hostile aggression. We can say about aggression from Russia. And the second thing, it was this act of sabotage on Polish trail line quite close to Warsaw. It showed that Russia is ready to I can't say it, but yes, they are ready to kill the people in Poland. Again, it's hard to say. It's hard to think about it like this. I know that people in Poland are probably unprepared for such scenarios, but we should be prepared, unfortunately, because the situation is worsening in Ukraine. Putin is encouraged by the American administration to do such bad things because he's unpunished yet. It gives him a kind of free hand to, as I said, speed up those actions. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, he's not even condemned. Punished
definitely, yeah.
is one thing, but he's not even condemned, it's true.
You're definitely right. Americans should at least condemn him. They didn't do it, so that's the answer why Russia feels so strong and why Putin is so dangerous and will be more and more dangerous if we won't stop him. And I have a hope that European Union, and our allies in European part of NATO will be able to stop Putin in Europe and in the Ukraine.
Grzegorz, thank you for your time. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
I hope you enjoyed this interview, and I'll see you next week.